Welcome. I'm Christopher Madden. I'm the executive editor at Woodhall Press, and I'm thrilled to be introducing the inimitable Lisa Diane Kastner, who is receiving an Honorary Achievement Award from the 2024 Book Fest. I have known Lisa from way back in grad school, and let me tell you a little bit about her and her presses. So Lisa is the founder and the executive editor of Running Wild and Rise Presses. She realized that there were great writers out there who couldn't get book deals or couldn't get noticed, so she created a publishing house focused on finding great voices that don't fit neatly in boxes, and also publishing great genre work written by people of color and those of other underrepresented groups. No mean feat, by the way. So Running Wild and Rise published fascinating books, and several of them have been named among the best of the year by Kirkus Reviews and received star reviews and other awards. Lisa finds great writers who've been overlooked elsewhere, like Shay Galloway, whose work, The Valley of Sage and Juniper, was called completely groundbreaking, or Jamie Ford, whose novel Hotel in the Corner of Bitter and Sweet had spent 2 years on the New York Times bestseller list and won the 2010 Asian Pacific American Award for Literature. She's also published short story collections like Tihi Hayslett's, which blow up not just the norms of heteronormative writing, but the norms of writing in general. She saw another one of her titles is Rebecca Dimion's novel Waiting for Beirut, which is absolutely breathtaking. So I suspect that one of the reasons Lisa and her presses are able to constellate together so many great writers and so many great works is because of Lisa herself. As a writer, Lisa is without fear. Her work always has a clear and imaginative voice, whether she's writing memoir about kicking her leg over her head while performing on Dancing on the Air when she was a teenager in New Jersey, or writing about a disgraced cult guru licking his wounds in Reno while scheming to regain his wealth and flock, or creating a dark magical realism book series about lycanthropes. Her prose has hooks and voice and plot and always surprises with an intangible wow factor. No wonder she's been published in multiple genres and forms. And again, I suspect that the same expansive energy and imagination in her writing are what drives the success of her presses. And damn, she makes it look cool. So there are lots and lots of great small presses and indie publishers, but few of them match the energy, vision, grace, and unalloyed awesomeness of Lisa Kastner and Running Wild and Rise. As the founder of a small press, now in its 9th year, I know this industry pretty well. And I know that there is no one quite like Lisa. To use the old adage, if Lisa didn't exist, we would have to invent her. I cannot think of anyone who deserves this award more. It's about time that everyone finds out just how outstanding Lisa is and what she means to so many authors. In short, she makes publishing better every single day. I'd like to thank Lisa, Rise, and Running Wild Press for making indie presses essential in the modern world of literature. Congratulations to my good friend and publishing colleague, Lisa Kastner, on receiving an Honorary Achievement Award from BookFest.
Wow,
So
I
thank
can
you.
leave now.
So Lisa, over to you. Yeah,
I sound amazing.
we can just finish. But
Well,
well, you are amazing, and what always impresses me is your energy, your energy not just for uh, championing writers, whether it's at AWP or events or on social media or doing keynote speeches at your alma mater. You always have this great, you know, it's almost a persona. I don't want to say it's an affectation, but just you have this great appearance and you always seem happy. I guess if you're doing ads, it would be called Q factor. What do you think drives, I guess, your passion for publishing? And again, I think part of it comes from just your love of letters that I think all of us in publishing have to some degree. But what keeps you going? What makes you excited?
well, what got me started was, as you had aptly stated in the intro, I knew so many amazing authors who just simply couldn't get a book deal, and it really perplexed me. And honestly the validation that I get, because I'll be honest, I wanted to quit several times. And I actually remember the day
Hmm.
that I realized Jamie Ford actually accredited me with discovering him. I was on an airplane and I had picked up a hotel on the corner of Bitter and Sweet. And I hadn't read it yet. I knew it had sold in the millions. And I knew that he had
Hmm.
based it on a short story that we had published in this like teeny tiny little publication, online publication. And I was just returning from a writer's workshop, and let's just say there were events that had occurred that I thought, you know what, I think I'm good. I don't think I want to write anymore. I don't want to edit anymore. I'm good. I think I can, move on and just go hang out at Chuck E. Cheese or someplace, similarly, and it's fine. And I opened up the actual book, and I saw in the acknowledgments page, he states, that he wanted to thank myself as well as, the small publication that had originally published the short story that the novel was based on, and that, without that he wouldn't have actually created Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. And honestly, it's moments like that,
Wow.
yeah, that that's what keeps me going, right? It's knowing that we
Hmm.
really are making a change, right? The stories that we're putting forward really do have significant meaning. Like Shay Galloway's Valley of Sage and Juniper that you mentioned. Um, we published that
Hmm.
under Rise. She's an African American writer. She wrote a Western, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a gorgeous narrative. Her prose are fantastic. And when Forward Review decided that they were gonna, actually review the work, they actually hunted me down to give me a copy of the review before it actually went into publication. And I booger
Hmm.
cried when I read it. I mean, because it's like, oh my God, she's finally getting the attention she deserves, right? She is this stunning writer.
Right.
Finally, it's being acknowledged within the broader industry. So it really is, it's those moments that for me really, that's what keeps me going. And it makes me booger cry. So
Yeah. And it makes you not want to hide in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese and just bury yourself.
exactly. Right.
Um,
Although skee ball is
those
fine, but
as, skee ball is great. I wouldn't want to dive into a skee ball pit, however, it wouldn't be as
no.
comfortable as the plastic balls. Yeah, I mean that's amazing. To have Ford Reviews highlight a book. They're a great entity, but they're looking at thousands and thousands of books and submissions every year. So that's incredible. What do you think this is? I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your favorite collection or favorite book that you've done recently?
Oh my gosh. Uh, so there are a couple. So one is North by Anne Harris, which is a young adult
Hmm.
fantasy, more like I'd say literary. It's going to come out in January. Another one that's absolutely stunning. It's
Hmm.
under the Rise imprint. And we have a book that just came out in September, and that one is A Pocket Full of Teeth by Amy Hardy, who also happens to be one of
Okay.
our editors as well. That one actually got a starred review by
Hmm.
Kirkus, and it's actually going to receive a rather significant um, accreditation, I guess you could say, later this year. So I would call those two out. And selfishly, they're also ones that I happen to edit. So,
That's great. That's a fantastic title. So I'm going to look for that one.
mm,
What about now? You had started with not just getting unusual writing, but you did some unusual books. You did novella anthologies, which nobody was doing. And novellas are
Hmm.
notoriously hard to get published unless you're putting them in with a short story collection, and even then, that's not popular. What drove you to do that? I'm curious. It's such a it seems like such an obvious choice, or a hole that needed filling. But how did that come about?
It came about, and by the way, I love the fact that your black cat is harassing you like my black cat is harassing me. I just happen to have the
Yes.
green screen going on. Anyway, so um, novella collections. So
Yeah, dude. I kept a straight face and pretended that I wasn't being Zoom bombed.
it was
But
awesome.
yeah, go ahead.
um, when I first started running wild, um, actually, what you just described in terms of like a thought process around it, that was pretty much it. I knew so many great novellas that just simply couldn't get published, and I didn't understand why there weren't novella anthologies available. And to me, it's a very it seems like a very basic choice, right? If you want a rewarding,
Hmm.
quick, you can knock it out in a night story, you should pick a novella in term because of the length. And a well-written
Right.
novella, you're gonna get the full arc, right? And I just figured, well, why don't we start it? Why don't we, see how it goes? Now, what was interesting is actually another dear friend, who's a brilliant writer and he publishes across multiple genres. Um, he had commented that it was only after we started publishing novella anthologies he really started seeing them show up in bookstores and from other publishers. And honestly, what I really think
Right.
happened, I wouldn't, I mean, I would love to take credit for it, but I really think what happened is a lot of publishers started realizing, hey, wait a minute, this is a great opportunity for me to find not only another great writer, but a lot of times you can take that novella and you can work with the writer on expanding it into a brilliant novel. So why not take that opportunity?
Sure.
So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. And the thing that we like about collections and anthologies, and we have not done novellas, although we've talked about it. We've been doing the Connecticut Literary Anthology. We just had a reading the other day at the Mark Twain House, and it's just fantastic to see so many people. It's a different feeling than just having one author and one book, which is also great. But to be able to include lots of different voices, and it's a variety pack, I guess, if you will. But it's fantastic to see, and the level of excitement that have people being included in that it's great.
Absolutely. I mean, anthologies are brilliant. And from behind the scenes, being able to introduce great writers so that they expand their network and find additional individuals that they can work with. But also from a publishing
Hmm.
perspective, it's really great getting those voices out there and those stories out there so that they can get picked up by other houses.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's so important, especially with starting writers, to have a credential or to have something to put in your query letter, other than I've been writing since I was in kindergarten and I've graduated from crayons. But to actually say, I've been in this anthology or this magazine, or I was shortlisted for something, is a little bit more persuasive and maybe gets your work noticed better. Um, Speaking of which, with submissions and queries, what are the things that stand out to you when you're looking at queries? And if you're like me, and I know I am, I see a lot of these. So I'm always wondering what grabs other authors or other editors' attention when they're considering new work.
At the end of the day, it's a great storytelling and
Hmm.
great craft and having that engaging voice. I mean,
Hmm.
that's really it. That's the bottom line. I mean, we love people who have a lot of I was shocked the first time we had an Oprah Book Club pick author come to us with a piece, and of course that's going to make you say wow, but at the end of the day, the piece has to be great storytelling and great writing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think whether it's literary or upmarket fiction or commercial fiction, I think it's story first. I've read absolutely breathtaking prose that I'm not interested in reading because it's not going anywhere. And then
Exactly.
I've also read just sort of this taut, stripped down writing that has something to it, that has a hook. So I agree that I think stories first. Voice, which I think if all of us in the industry were asked what voice is, we would have a different definition. It's some kind of intangible thing that we don't really know what it is. But I think that's important too. But yeah, I think that's really at the basis of it, something that's original and engaging that we haven't heard. Tihi Hayslett's stories, which I've read, they don't remind me of anything else, which is, I think, wonderful, in good ways.
Agreed. Absolutely.
I think we're almost up on time. Any last words? Do you want to hold up your award again? It looks like something from outer space.
Doesn't
That's
it? It's
fantastic.
gorgeous. Oh, darn it. I did exactly. There it goes. Okay, perfect. Yes, it's stunning. Honestly,
There it
Chris,
goes.
I want to thank you
Right.
so much for being willing to be a part of this. I want to thank BookFest. When I got the call about this, I was absolutely blown away. I probably booger cried. I'm really good at that, and I just want to thank everybody for this honor and for actually being here. And you guys need to tune in because BookFest is the fill in the expletive. So join us.
Perfect. Thank you. And again, congratulations on this well deserved and wonderful award.
Thank you.
So